Mark Moda says, cool, a Woodscopes parody show. Don't forget Mark Moda. If we were doing a Woodscopes parody show, there would be no show on because he never broadcasts anymore.
If this was a Woodscopes parody show, Frank, we wouldn't have read that comment. So come on.
Totally inappropriate.
Goddamn shoes. Yeah. Or he got blown off the toilet.
Goddamn shoes.
This is like the new flatulence show. Balance.
Shit, I'm missing.
Balance.
All right, my guess is in. What are you guys guessing? What happened to this bathroom? Bacon is guessing poop.
Here we are. It is the water hole with Rob Hedstrom, Bacon, and Horse.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Ryan, thanks for letting me fill in. And yeah, it's good to be here. The tape.
Here's your some asshole with a goatee. Of course, you're gonna see it with the audience. Contents: one fucking shit fuck with a goatee. Seriously, just shave the shit off. This. You're gonna catch it on the delay, obviously. This is a live gooey duck clam. Watch this.
不准笑！喷水了。
So she's gonna dip it in some sauce. It's alive.
辣椒油。
Live. We'll do it
辣椒
live.
面。
She's putting whatever.
一样都不能少，不拼，老铁是不会给我双击的。
There it goes. And she's gonna bite into this thing. That's suggestive. It's the water hole. And that's not Rhino.
No, it's not Rhino.
That's Frank and Boise. He's like trading us up. He's got
You know what? He was actually on the Outlaws and Potato. He was Rhino, the sports guy segment on my show. Like he did it twice and then fucking blew me off. He goes, you know what? There's better out there. He's doing the same thing to everybody.
He uses us up, gets to where he wants to go
Stepping
next, and then he tosses us aside like a used condom. So, the elephant in the room. No, not you. Not you. No. I longed to get rid of my huge boobs. I longed to get rid of my huge boobs until they paid off my family's 130 pounds debt. Amy Sophia, 27, felt uncomfortable with the looks she got from strangers for her larger chest and was desperately trying to raise cash for a breast reduction when she had a change of heart. With size 34 double H. You know what double H stands for? Haunted horse. 34 double H, right there. Haunted horse boobs. 34 double H boobs. She turned to OnlyFans for extra cash. But as she grew in popularity, Amy started to see her larger chest in a different light. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. You think? Holy crap, look at this. There's the pictures. Holy crap!
Hey guys. We are right in that prime position where we can get Horse to say anything, and it'll be a sound drop forever. Which way we want to go?
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, he's losing his mind right now.
Oh my God.
He just lost his mind.
Grandpa! Man, I'm an idiot. All right.
Hi, Jim.
Everybody, Jimmy, Indiana. Look at this. There he is. There's the man. There's the man that invented the 12 by 12 challenge.
Hold on.
Audience
I'm gonna be the voice of. I'm gonna be the voice of God for this one here.
Yes. The voice of God returns.
Sent mail inbox pending drafts. Wait, maybe I drafted one, didn't send it. No, all women. Katie, Kelly, Katie 2. So I had a Katie 1 and a Katie 2.
All right.
Melody. Yeah. I was quite the player when I had this phone. I'd be all, hey, baby. There was no iPhone yet, so you go, hey, baby, look at this. Woo! little flip phone. Look at me. Ho, ho, ho. I'm sorry. I'm out of here. Rhino and Horse are a couple of dorks who want to have a show. Will anybody ever watch it? The answer is probably no. They thought up a really stupid name. They call it the water hole, where everybody thinks they're lame. And they're always sad they came. You wanna be where you can see Rhino and Horse act lame. You wanna be where everybody's sad they came. You wanna be where you can see Rhino and Horse act lame. You wanna be where everybody's sad they came. What is up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. What's weird about the Tuesday is I haven't seen you in a show format since last Thursday, but since I did a show last night, it feels like I did a show with you, but I didn't. And I didn't do one with you Friday. Jay's in the chat first.
You won.
And he says,
You won. You won.
is this the beef jerky segment? It is not the beef jerky segment, Jay. I wish it was. Beef jerky's good.
It could be.
Speaking of beef jerky, I've posted this on Twitter, but I do live 7 miles from the old Trapper company, manufacturing site, smoking site. I took a picture out in front of it last year. I think last winter. I was out staying in the rain in front of the old Trapper. That's when the security guy shooed me off. I parked in the parking lot, and he goes, "What are you doing here?" And I go, "I just want to get a picture in front of the building." He goes, No.
They built a new facility, right?
Yeah, all new.
Yeah.
The one I went in, I've been, my company 24 years, so it would have been about 20 years ago. The one I used to go in was just like a little building, and they had about 5 smoker rooms, and I had to put up some paper towel dispensers in the wash sinks outside the smoker rooms. And it was very mom and poppy looking. And now they've got this big multi-story building, massive footprint. And back then I would have said 20,000 square feet maybe this building was back in the day. And now it's got to be, 100,000, something like that, 150,000.
They're major sponsors of the NFL Network,
Right.
and a bunch of different places. But, dude, they charge you. I mean, their jerky's worth it, but they charge enough for their jerky. That makes sense.
Teriyaki is amazing. And I like how it's kind of a little bit moist and soft. I like that. Because I've bought beef jerky from another company, and it's just dry. And it's like, sometimes it's brittle. It's like nasty. And this is not a commercial for Old Trapper, but I like to get the 18-ounce bag, and I'll go through it in one sitting. I don't make it last. I just inhale it. So
Costco sells it for, I think it's like $18, which isn't terrible for jerky, but
for 18 ounces, because I'm getting it for 16 at like the gas station.
oh, the Costco bag must be bigger than.
I'm guessing they must get a special. It's got to be.
Yeah.
I bet you it's double the size or something like that. 32 ounces or 36, something like that. Anyway, yeah, interesting day for me. So I wake up at 5:30 now. I get up an hour earlier. I've been doing that for about 6 months, and I look at the stock market and do everything. And I'm on my computer, this computer right here. And I'm looking at some news article or whatever, and I get this pop-up. Something wants permission to your device. And it's something that I recognize. I'm like command something processor something. And I know the term, but I'm like, what? I have never had that permission ever asked of me before. So I go, no. I'm like, no, something's not right. And all of a sudden, the cursor gets all stuttery, and it starts to, and then it goes and shuts down. And so I try to fire it back up, and it will not make it past the hello Chris screen, and then it just locks up. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. So I've got about 10 minutes before work. I'm like trying to reboot it. So I turn it off. I go take a shower. I'm going to let it just kind of cool down, let all the memory dump. It takes about a minute for that to dump when you power it off. Let it all dump, recycle, start it up, boot. I take a shower. I get dressed, hit it again. Fucking blank screen. I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, no, damn it, I don't have that. It's on the Haunted Horse build. I was going to do the Dak Prescott. Fuck! So, yeah, my computer basically said...
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. It's probably the processor went down. That was my first thing. Just the way it was behaving, I'm like, I bet the processor went down. I'm like, shit. And then I'm like, maybe the motherboard, but probably the processor. So I'm like thinking about it for 2 hours. I'm at work. And so I go on the Amazon app, see what my processor, $279, they'll have it here in 5 hours at my house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, order, 5 hours. I want that thing waiting for me. Because I'm thinking, how am I going to do a show? I can do a show from the laptop. It will look nothing like this. It will look very antiquated and basic. Kind of like your show does every day. That's... I'm kidding. I am kidding. It will actually look worse than your show. So, no, I'm kidding. So, anyway, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to do a basic show with 2 cameras and a static background. And I'm like, that's it. That's all we're going to... I mean, even the articles I'm going to have to pull on, like, my tablet and read them from my tablet. So... I'm like, it's got to be a processor. So I order it. I get home, and I'm like, before I open this box for $279, I'm going to go through. So I went in. Now I'm going to get real nerdy, and I'll go real fast because it'll be real nerdy. So I booted it up, and I was able to get into the BIOS. I'm like, okay, good. So then I start looking at my hardware, and I'm like, the processor's working. There's 16 cores. I see they've got individual temperature monitors. They're all working right. I'm like, okay, it's not that. I never thought it was my graphics card, which is good because those go for about $1,500. It's the most expensive piece of equipment in the computer. Never thought it was that. So I'm like, it's gotta be, I'm pretty sure it's software. So anyway, long story short, the Windows update yesterday crashed my computer, and I didn't even know it updated. It was a stealth update. I didn't know it updated. So
Can't you turn automatic updates off?
I do, but sometimes they get turned back on. They do. So I went into some user groups, and sure enough, I saw a lot of people saying, Mike, ever since the update on 10.20, it's not working. So I'm like, okay. So I rolled it back from the start screen, and sure enough, it fired right back up. So now I got to... Amazon wants me... and I think it's because it's the processor. But they want me to return it... The warehouse is a mile away from here. They want me to go 13 miles and drop it off if I want a free return and don't want to pay $7 for UPS to pick it up. And I think it's so that they can verify that I haven't switched the processor. They're individually numbered so that people don't do what people try to do, which is take their broken processor and trade it out and try to get a refund. So I've got to fucking drive 13 miles tomorrow to get my refund, which is fine. I ordered it in a panic. I wasn't even sure.
Well, you don't pay for your gas. Your company does.
Exactly. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it when it's convenient for me at work, when I'm driving by there anyway. It's actually pretty close to the office, about 3 miles from the office. Anyway, so what sucks is I was actually looking at brand new computers at one point thinking, you know what? I'm going to buy one next year. I'll move it up. But I don't want to do two because all the new hardware comes out in January and February. And I don't want to be a generation behind if I'm going to fork out the money for, I want the latest, greatest thing. Jay says I make my own jerky. Store-bought just isn't right. So I did buy a smoker, and I've not used it once. I've had it for about 2.5, 3 years. It's the Little Chief Smoker, and I am planning on doing it. I just haven't gotten around to firing it up yet. So I will be joining the Make My Own Jerky Club. Anyway, I saved myself a lot of money because my computer's fine. Obviously, I'm broadcasting with it. But, man, that was... And then I'm starting to think, like, what? I didn't think the hard drives were bad. So you just take the hard drive out, put it in your new computer. But I spent 10 hours on Saturday editing Die Hard, the Jungle Edition. And I'm like, oh, man, I cannot do the editing on my lapper. It's just not beefy enough. It would be a bit. Anyway, I'm just thinking of all the things. So I'm happy that I'm not fucking worried about getting spending $3,500 on a new computer before I want to do it.
Yeah, it's a shitty feeling, like
It
before
is.
you go to work, not knowing, and being up in the area.
Yeah.
Because you want to just like figure it out right then.
Dude, my computer is as important to me as some people's car or some people. I mean, it is literally, I am on easily. On a work day, I'm easily on it 10 hours. And on a Saturday and Sunday, I'm probably on it 18 hours. 16
hours?
I sleep for 8, 16. It's on all day. I wake up and I go to the computer and I don't turn it off until bedtime.
Yeah.
I'm editing movie or video and everything else. Jay pulling some Rex in the ABQ out of his butt. Or Burn Dog's, he's trying to get us to 100 messages in the first 20 minutes of the show. Let's see.
Yeah, Cat's not playing well, Bird Dog. Knicks aren't playing well.
If Hunter Horse was nicer, we might give him more pub. Even the GPO told Hunter Horse no means no when he tried to get into her BIOS. Hey-oh. Bill Gates says if you're nicer. Yeah, malicious updates. They do not test these well enough.
You guys do weird stuff though. Like you implement programs that are like not generations, but like 3-4 updates behind because you preview that, you find ways to find them. Like that's like complicated, weird stuff for a computer.
Huh?
You've talked about like OBS or different different
Got it.
websites.
Okay, you're not talking about the operating system. Yeah, I live outside the lines, but this was an actual operating system. I mean, this is... You would think that Microsoft would verify these. Problem is they send them out, and there's so many configurations of personal computers. That's where Apple has the advantage. They build the hardware. So they know how many computers and what the parts are and everything else, whereas PC, it's like a puzzle of pieces put together. And so you get these weird combinations, and then the operating system goes, "What the fuck is this?" And then it doesn't work. But on the on the counter to that is, if it was my processor, I was going to be able to fix it. Apple, they make their parts so hard that they weld them together and everything else. If a piece goes out, you're fucked. You are going to an Apple technician, and they can charge you whatever they want. Dell does the same thing where they weld pieces together, which is why I don't buy... I buy Dell laptops because I can't work on a laptop even... I can't build them. I can't work on them. They're just a different animal. But I don't buy Dell desktops because I don't like welding parts together and making me a slave to them fixing it or selling me a new one. So that's why I like to stay outside of Dell.
So it's not a computer thing. Dyson does the same thing with their products. We ran into that because we were trying to fix our vacuum. Who else does that? Tesla.
Everybody. And that's why these right to repair laws are coming out, and the government's saying, no, you've got to make it easier to repair your products. And
it's an antitrust. It's a monopoly
thing. It is. Absolutely. So they're getting sued now. Apple had to change something to do with their iPhone to make it more repair friendly. Anyway, It is.
The charging port was one of them, USB-C.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was Europe that pushed that, not the U.S. That was Europe. They said, you know what? We're tired of all this e-waste, having different chargers every 2 generations a thing. And then if someone buys an Android phone and then they go to an Apple phone later, they got to change. And all this stuff's ending up in the landfills.
You know what's super funny, though? All these like people that had only ever had Apple, they're freaking out.
I know.
When it happened.
Right.
And like they didn't realize it's one of those things at your gas station you could get. Like every conference you go to will give out like one of those like little
thumb
swags
drive.
that has
drive.
not
Or
even
a dongle.
thumb drive. No.
A dongle.
It'll be a thing that dongle where it has every different, type of connection that you might need. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, folks. Instead of buying $18 because it's got to be authorized by Apple, and they do have third party, but they have to get permission to make it because it's proprietary. Now USB-C, and go get one for $4.99. You're not beholden, and that's why they didn't want to give up on it, because they made money selling the proprietary thing, and they don't make money on USB-C. Apple, it claims to be this, we're here for the customer and everything. No, they're there to milk you, and that's fine if you're about
Apple
that.
used to be like that. I'll give them some
They're being
love.
forced to change, though.
You know what I went through with my phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh no, we're not going to give you a new phone. It's going to be a refurbish. Like what? You realize I just bought this like 2 months ago, right? Like. And
So
at the time,
what's
it was the top of the
resolution?
line phone.
I don't think you ever told me what happened with that. Did you finally get a new one, or you're stuck with the refurb?
No, it's a new one, but it's refurbed.
So that's the way they left it. It's a refurb.
Yep.
I would have. No way, Jose, dude. That would have switched me off of Apple. I know, but the problem is you get locked into their thing, and it's not hard to quit, or it's not easy to quit. All right, we got lots of cool news, weird stories. So I'm going to start getting to this. That computer, man, I lucked out because we could have been doing basic shows for the next couple weeks until I got something.
You could have let me run the show through Restream.
I thought about it.
Look good.
I thought about it. I mean, that was when I was coming up with all the possibilities, that was one of the things I thought about. It was like letting you run it. And then I could use my screen to put the story up, because I have 2 screens on my laptop.
So really quick, I have a story too.
Oh, good.
I brought something to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Are you going to give it to us now, or are you later?
Anytime.
I thought you said you had a story. I was giving you the space.
Let me get this peanut butter M&M out of my mouth really
What
quick.
do you think of the screen? Don't you think this fire looks cozy? I love autumn.
Yeah, the fire looks good.
I love the autumn. It's just my favorite season.
All right, we're going to Germany. We're going to a pizza restaurant. German police say pizza order number 40 came with a side of cocaine.
It's a complete crap.
German police busted a pizzeria in western city of Dusseldorf that also delivered a side order of cocaine when customers asked for the item number 40 on the menu.
Item number 40.
It was one of the best-selling pizzas, end quote, criminal director
Best-selling
Michael
pizza.
Graf von Moltke told reporters in Düsseldorf. He said police were first tipped off by suspicious food inspectors in March when drug squad officers began observing the restaurant. They soon discovered why pizza number 40 was so popular.
Pizza number 40.
Moike told reporters on Monday, German news agency DPA reported when police buzzed the apartment of the pizzeria manager, the 36-year-old, allegedly threw a bag of drugs out the window, which fell right into the arms of police officers. Dusseldorf police said the bounty included 1.6 kilograms
Jeez.
of cocaine, 3.5 pounds, 400 grams or 14.1 ounces of cannabis and 268,000 euros, just under $300,000
Wow.
in cash. During the raids, they came across 2 cannabis plantations near Mochen Gladbach and Soiligen, with 360 plants respectively. They also found cutting and stabbing weapons as well as cash and expensive watches. The pizzeria owner was arrested when he tried to flee abroad and remains in custody. None of the suspects' names were released in line with the Germany privacy order.
Wow.
So how about that,
Number
dude?
40. The number 40, I wonder if it wasn't on the menu. Like it went up to 35, and if you ask, because otherwise people are going to ask for the 40 thinking that they're getting a pizza. I wonder if it was like some hidden, like, oh, I'll take the number 40 and like wink, wink. I wonder how much it costs too.
So I think it's more common than you think. Not necessarily at restaurants, but liquor stores, like different places.
Drug distribution.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it makes sense that you remember they were hiding the drugs in the packages. We had one where they were hiding them in the stereos and stuff at like an electronics store. Something like that, moving it around.
Got returned, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the returns, yeah. Let's see. Tiffany is where? I saw Asheville, North Carolina. Holy crap.
Hi, Cindy.
Cindy's here.
It's so good to see you again.
Tiffany, do you just like pick random places to go, or do you pick like certain events to go to and they end up in different
Well, is it
cities?
work or is it personal? Is it your job that you have to go all these places? I mean, we want to know. We want to know what's going on. The more you know. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you know what's funny is when I was in my 20s, I used to think, oh, I'd love to have a job where I travel. And then I got a job where I traveled, and it got old really fast. I was like, yeah, I don't want to travel anymore. After about 2 years, I was like, oh, I'm sick of this shit. Freaking living out of a hotel all the time. No, thanks.
I did it before. I did it before I had kids. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun when you're young and in the beginning. And then, because you're eating out and the company's picking up the tab. And hell, I had to go work in Hawaii. But for every Hawaii, I had like 10 Lovelock Nevadas. And there ain't shit in Lovelock, Nevada. So, yeah. I'd go up where Jay lives and Acadia, and
that's where I was at. Willits.
Yeah, Willits and oh gosh, yeah. All right, here we go. Story from the New York Post. I'm a flight attendant. There's good news if your iPhone falls into an airplane toilet. I just thought, hell, I didn't even plan on talking about Apple and PC, but there's good news if you're Apple. I'm waiting for the follow-up. The story is going to be, it gets to mingle with the other crap. I'm just kidding. Yes, I'm anti-Apple.
Really?
I'm anti-Apple. It's just me. It's the plop no one wants to hear while on the pot. Using an airplane lavatory is risky enough, owing to the germs, tight space, and lack of ventilation. But there's nearly no greater gamble than squatting over the seat while your precarious phone is in your pocket and hoping it doesn't meet a watery grave. And unfortunately for this flight attendant, she rolled the dice and lost. Flight attendant Ali Case shared the good news and bad news about what happens when a smartphone falls into an airplane toilet. Has anyone else had a fear of dropping their phone in an airplane bathroom and then flushing it?
It would be so hard to do that.
Because you have to flush it.
Yes, you would be able to get it out of the commode because there's not an open hole in the airplane toilet until you hit the button.
Unless she flushed it not knowing it was in there yet. I don't know. It happened to her, groaned the brunette. adding, however, there's a surprising upside to the soggy upset. Most phones like my iPhone Pro are too big to fit down the hole of an airplane toilet, said Case. It was flushing. It was making the scary sound, but my phone was just sitting there. It couldn't be sucked down because it was too big. But everyone's not so lucky, whether at 30,000 feet. So she's saying it's good to have an iPhone 15 or whatever because it's too big to go down the hole. Whether 30,000 feet in the air or with both feet firmly planted on the tiles of your home's bathroom floor, losing one's iPhone in the toilet is... Okay, this is going nowhere. What happened? I want to know what happens when it goes in the bowl. Okay, here it is. Becky Beckman, a married Maryland woman, just recently recovered an iPhone she'd unwittingly dropped into the bowl of her abode's commode back in 2012. Her husband randomly retrieved the device, which had been lodged in their pipes for about a decade, while plunging the toilet. Yeah, but that's a home phone. This thing just went, you guys, I wanted to know what happened if it went down the airplane toilet. Like, do they suck it out with a... Anyway, I'm angry. This one's better, though. This one's better. New York Post again.
It would still be in the tank.
Yeah. So did they... That's what I want to know. Do they get it out, and do they give it back to you? Do they rinse it off? Or do they just say it's garbage because of it? That's where the headline was leading me.
Okay.
I wanted to know what happened.
Okay. So let me say something really quick.
All right.
If this was 15 years ago, I would strongly consider trying to get that phone back, right? Like, okay, I'm going to have to deal with it, wipe it off, disinfect,
Yeah,
whatever.
but 15 years ago, they weren't waterproof.
Okay, well, okay, fair enough.
Okay.
But now with the cloud and everything,
right?
It's just a device. You can get all of your
data.
information.
Okay, that makes sense. You wanted the data. Yes,
was the big deal. But remember having
the
to
phone
numbers, your phone numbers.
Right. No, it was a pain in the ass. Not to mention pictures that may have been on there. You know, maybe you had a picture of your family and your father had passed away, and it was on. I mean, who knows? But yeah, it was a bigger deal back then. But. Yeah, well, that's like with this computer when I thought it went down. I was never worried about, and I back up the OBS platform, so all the buttons and everything else are backed up to a certain point. If I've added something in the last month, it's probably not going to be backed up yet. But I wasn't worried about losing everything. I was worried about having to deal with life without a computer for a few weeks or months or whatever. That's what I was stressing out. New York Post again. Cookie Monster. Bizarrely caught speeding on traffic cam, but cops were not amused.
Yeah, I heard about this.
So I got the picture up on the screen. You'll see it in a second. It seems eating isn't the only thing Cookie Monster does too quickly. A police camera captured the bizarre moment a motorist sped through an intersection in Germany. Once again, Germany. Look at this. Drugs in the pizza and Cookie Monster through a red light. Or a speeding section. Intersection in Germany while dressed as the blue biscuit-loving children's character. Quote, the fun of wearing a mask from the Muppet Show can he's not on the Muppet Show. He's on Sesame Street. Come on, know your Muppets, people. The fun of wearing a mask from the Muppet Show can quickly turn serious, unquote, police spokesman Peter Banderman told Newsflash while describing the incident. A police camera recently captured Cookie Monster speeding through an intersection in Germany. The pic snapped in the western city of Dortmund, Westphalia, on September 20 shows the googly-eyed character driving an Audi at 60 miles per hour, which was 10 miles faster than the posted speed limit. The combo of speed and the ridiculous costume led police to believe that the Cookie Monster cosplayer, whose identity wasn't yet uncovered, deliberately got themselves caught on camera for a brazen gag. However, they feel the stunt is no laughing matter. Quote, it won't help the relatives of a person who's been killed if the person who did it tearfully regrets their mask fun in court, said Banderman. If authorities do track down the shaggy-suited troll, they will be slapped with a $50 fine. Whoa! $50! No! Oh! This isn't the first time Cookie Monster has engaged in questionable behavior. In 2023, authorities instructed residents of Santa Cruz, California, to avoid interacting with a man gussied up as the Crumbly character after he was observed yelling obscenities and taunting locals strolling along the coastal city's boardwalk. The cretin reportedly even harassed parents about paying him to pose with their children. He's using profanity, and he's like, "Hey, I'll pose with your kid for some money, you bitch fucks." We are getting calls from people who say he is creepy, police spokesman Joyce Blaschke said in the statement to the Post. Based on his history, we advise the public to not engage with this individual. Steer clear of him. That's the Santa Cruz one, not the driving one. Cookie Monster. That's funny.
Do you remember the Bush? So when bums were cute and fun in San Francisco,
Bums.
yeah, there was a time where
Before
bums
they were pooping on the
beloved.
sidewalk.
Yeah, there used to be this guy. It was at Pier 39 is the big one, right?
Yep.
Pier 39.
Yeah, Fisherman's Wharf.
Yeah.
I think they're separate. I learned that this year for the first time, and I used to live down there. I did not know Pier 39 and Fisherman's Wharf were different. They are.
Interesting. So, anyways, he had this like bush thing that he would just carry around with him, and he'd hide behind it, and you'd have no idea he was behind it, and then he'd jump out at people, or he'd like.
I've
sneak
seen
up
that,
behind people.
dude. I saw that happen, and that was hilarious.
Hilarious. It used to. That dude made. So
I give
much
that guy
money.
money.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's hiding behind some like leaves and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then people would walk by, and then what's weird is the people didn't get, there's like a whole bunch of people across the street just waiting there. You would think that people would be like, why are these people just waiting by this closed building?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was, I give that guy money. That was the fucking best thing ever.
He'd sneak up behind people, and they wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was
Like,
great.
He'd like follow him. It'd be so fun.
Dude, it was hilarious. Yes. Cindy says Jim did Muppets. I don't think Sesame Street, but he was voicing Kermit the Frog, so he had to do something on Sesame Street because Kermit was on Sesame Street. Jim Henson was the voice of Kermit the Frog. This is Kermit the Frog, Sesame Street. But
who's the Muppet that does the? One of our friends really likes the. What? Excuse me. Are you speaking English? Who is that?
I don't know. You picked one I don't know. He's not a main one on the Muppet Show. See, I used to watch the Muppet. I think it was 7 or 7:30. It was like right around the same time. It was like you had Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins, and then like the Muppet Show right behind it. And that was like the hour before I had to go to bed. So I would that was Sundays, I believe, and I would go take my bath. And my dad had bought me a TV in the bathroom, and I'd take an hour-long bath and watch Wild Kingdom and Muppet Show. That was like good times. And then I think Wonderful World of Disney came on after those. So that was my 2 hours of television before bedtime. Dude, you grew up too late, man. There was nothing better than the Wonderful World of Disney on Sunday night. It was the best. And sometimes you got a full movie, but they broke it into 2 parts. But you would get like a full Disney movie, and it would be half of it on the one Sunday, and then next week they would finish it up. It's the best ever.
I'm trying to think what we got on Sundays. I think it was always football.
As a
I
kid?
think it was a kid. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Or
it wasn't on
WWE.
at night yet.
Or WWE pay-per-views.
It wasn't on at night. Sunday night football's, new to me, newer. But the games would end at the 1 o'clock games would end, and then there was no more football.
Yeah, I don't know what we used to watch on Sunday. I remember Disney movies being on.
Wonderful World of Disney was on for a long time.
I remember that. It was on ABC, right?
Yes. So hold on, I'm gonna pull the opener. This is what I remember. Let's see it. I'd say about 77. Let's look at the intro. Yes. Yeah. This is what it looked like for me. I forget who in the audience is my age. Let's see. Wait, 72. No. This is it. This is what I remember. Right here. This is it. This is what I loved. Memories.
The wonderful world of Disney, part of your family for 25 years.
25 years.
We decided that we wanted to
come on,
spend
don't give me a preview. I want to see the.
together.
There it is.
So whichever one of
Parent Trap. First one. Yeah, this is what. You're like, oh, I want to go to Disneyland. Oh, the castle. Oh, Tinkerbell. Yeah. The music. Dude, Sunday nights, man. As a kid. Freaking awesome. You're getting the brain now. Anyway.
Yeah,
That shit.
I don't remember all that.
Well, that was
but,
79. It got more modern as you were, and I forgot when it stopped being on Sunday nights, because once they had the Disney Channel and cable and everything, they kind of pulled it away from ABC and they programmed different stuff. I think Disney Channel then everything started going over there. And you probably grew up with the Disney Channel, right?
Mhm.
When were you born? 86? 85? 84? So you don't remember Disney, like the Mickey Mouse Club with Britney Spears and that wasn't your generation?
That was more my brother's
later
generation.
or earlier?
Britney Spears was 16 when she came up with Baby Hit Me One More Time when I was a freshman or sophomore in high school.
So your brother's younger than you?
No.
Older.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's 11 years younger than me.
Okay, I always thought your brother was older. I don't know where I got that. Okay, so you're or older. 84, that's Gen X, isn't it?
Mm-mm. We're still considered millennials.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait.
When is I think you're Gen X.
No, I'm on the back end of millennial.
So, okay, it stops at 1980. So 65 to 80, and I'm 69. So I'm near the front end.
Or I'm on the front end of millennials.
You're the front end of millennials. Okay, got it. All right, so 80 is when it cuts out. All right, wait, why did I put the story up there?
What does Gen X even mean?
I don't know. I think it's just like there was baby boomers, and then there was like us. We have small numbers. We're like the least populated generation that's on the planet right now. Baby boomers, and then it goes. Our population numbers go way low, and then then your generation it goes back up again.
Mm. Hey, did you hear about or did you see the clip going around social where SeaWorld in San Antonio still has killer whales?
Oh, the poop. I almost pulled that for a story. That
poor kid. Did you see
maybe
that
tomorrow.
Kid? He's like,
yeah. So what he's talking about, maybe we'll show the video tomorrow. Or maybe I'll find it while I'm doing the next story. But the killer whale swims by and just big poop right in front of the audience. And then it goes swimming around again. And then it goes up in the air and splashes. And that whole area of poop goes over the thing and all over these kids. And yeah.
I'll DM it to you right now.
Poop all over the people. Yeah, disgusting.
Did you used to like to sit in the splash zone?
Yes, I did. Yeah. We used to go to the one in we did Marine World a lot. I don't even know if that's still open in the Bay Area. There was Marine World.
Yeah, it's more of a theme park now.
Yeah, well, I remember when it went from Marine World Africa USA. So then they would get lions and tigers, and then they got the ball pit. And when they got the ball pit, I wanted to go there forever. I begged my parents for like 6-8 months because I want to go in the ball pit. It was like the first one I ever saw And, of course, later on, they have them everywhere. All right. Are they going to give me a commercial? Oh, I'm going to watch it on YouTube. I won't get the commercial because I pay.
It used to be so. The last time we went to, now it's Six Flags Marine World.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The last time we went, it was so stupid expensive. The food, it was.
Oh, right.
Jen, when we were at Marine World, we paid what was it, $30 for chicken fingers and fries?
That's for Adam.
Where? Oh, Great America.
Oh,
That's
great.
right. Okay.
That's
So
Paramount Great America. Yeah.
So Great America is still open, and it is a shithole. If anybody here in California, it used to be the cool place to go.
It started turning about 15 years ago when they sold the year-round passes, and then it became all these teenagers, and then they had gangs moving in there, and it became a shithole. When I was a kid, that was the place to go.
That was remember when they opened Top Gun, the ride?
Yes.
It
was
the
the
coolest
Demon
thing.
was the new ride for me, the Demon roller coaster.
Oh, the Demon, that's right. And now it's so outdated. It's stepping back into 1990s.
Right.
It's in the same parking lot as the 49ers' new stadium.
Really?
For anybody,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, anybody that's wondering. But we ended up going there. Slean never had been. It was a few years back. $30 for chicken fingers.
Yeah.
Chicken fingers.
Yeah.
Didn't even come with the fries.
Yeah.
Chicken fingers.
Right. It's a huge cash grab. Yeah, the Edge was terrifying. I remember going on the Edge the first year it opened. That's the one where you're in the box and it pushes you out and you drop. So here's my Edge story because, I got a story for everything. So I'm on the Edge. I went with my friends and they're like, oh, I heard if you put a penny on your knee, it'll levitate like in midair.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. So I put the penny on my knee, and then it's my first time ever, and it drops out, and I go, ah! And the penny went in my mouth, and I started to choke on it, and I coughed it out. But it went into my mouth and down my esophagus, and I'm like, and then the penny flew out of my mouth, but I almost choked to death on the Edge with my penny trick. So, yes, it was. I remember that like it was yesterday because there is a fear that goes over you when you inhale something that goes down your windpipe, a penny, and but it came right back, boom. But I was screaming, ah! And then of course you take a breath of air, you go because you're out of air when you scream, and that's when the penny went. Ugh. So there's my Edge story. But yeah, that is a terrifying ride. It's not as terrifying as the parachute ride at Knott's Berry Farm, though, because you're in this little stupid cage. I went on that one time and
What's
never
the
will
parachute
again.
ride at Knott's Berry
It's
Farm?
this thing you go up and you're in this cage and there's no top or side. There's a side, but only to like your hip. And the parachute, it's got holes in it. It's not doing anything. It goes up and then you drop. And you get 2 rides for staying in that line. And my mom talked me into it. She's like, "Oh, it won't be scary, whatever." I get up there.
Is it like Drop Zone? It's probably like Drop Zone.
I don't know what Drop Zone is, but I went up once.
Your
I said,
legs are
"The guy, we're
dangling
sending
and
you up
it's
again."
just-
I'm like, "No."
It's a ride where you're strapped in, you're sitting up.
You're not
and
strapped
you
in
just
this. You're in a
have
cage.
nothing on you?
Nothing.
Okay.
You're holding on
So-
to the cage.
Oh, okay. So they have a similar one, but it's way higher.
Yeah.
And you're got the shoulder harness on, but your legs dangle. And it takes you all the way to the top, and then it just
Doesn't
drops you straight
Great America have that?
I think so. That's
Because
where
you have
Drop Zone
the
used
thing
to
you
be.
go up and it spins you around, and then there's the ring that
Not
the
that
people
one.
ride on.
Yeah, it's not the ring.
Oh,
one.
okay.
All
right.
Here, I'll find it.
Drop Zone. Magic Mountain is open year-round, and this guy posted a video of how he got a season and meal pass, so he used to park to eat and shower all year long, right? I know like homeless people that get gym memberships to these cheap gyms so that they can use the shower and the toilet, $20 a month, and I'm like, that's kind of smart, actually.
Makes sense.
Showering is the worst. When I lived in my car, I'd shower at my girlfriend's house. When I got thrown out of the house after I graduated high school.
We had one rare thing happen to us at Disneyland. It was when it was at the Haunted Hotel or whatever it was. But they had a ride that was similar. It's where the elevator just drops all the way down. I think it was the Haunted Hotel or something along those lines.
Was it? Are you sure it's Disneyland and not Universal? They had a terror
Positive.
something terror drop or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
positive it was Disneyland.
Haunted Hotel.
It's now called the Twilight Zone Tower. It used to be called something else. But anyways, it has 6 rows of seating.
Tower
and
of Terror,
somehow-
she says. Cindy.
Yeah. Somehow we were the only ones that were on like that actual ride. So when you usually don't buy the pictures, but we did buy the picture in that sense because it was my mom, dad, my brother, Jen, and myself. To have a ride to ourselves, that was freaking sick. And the lady like did it on purpose. She's like, "Oh, why don't you guys wait?" And she put us on. That was a cool moment. We
Cool.
still have that picture. Yeah.
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
it. A picture of just the fam. Good job.
Just the fam.
All right, so here's the what we're talking about, the killer whale pooping. So here it is. First he swims and does his poop, and then he comes back, and then everyone gets splashed with the poop. All right, here we go. No audio? That's fine. All right, so there's the poop plume. Blah, that green shit. And it's like, oh, you just took it. Look at this kid. He's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that
It's
shit
shit.
made it for me.
Yeah. And then here it comes. There's the poop plume. Boom! Poop on everyone. You know that
Why
whale
you're
did it on
laughing?
purpose. Like, fuck you people.
You know what? Those whales.
Surprise, motherfucker.
There's a reason that like SeaWorld is now they're allowed to keep them until they die, but
Right.
they won't have any
Yeah.
more.
Because of that Blackfish documentary.
Well, even not just the Blackfish one. Did you ever see The Cove?
Mm-mm.
It is, I don't remember what country it's in, but once a year they do this thing where they herd all the dolphins.
Oh, I've seen that. And yeah, it's pretty graphic. I think it's Japan, if I remember right. Japan, it's somewhere in Asia. Yeah, and they beat it's
But that's also like where a lot of the parks would go to like find their dolphins
Oh,
and
jeez.
start their mating project or whatever it is.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's yeah, I've seen that video. It's gross. I mean, it's right up there with the baby seals getting
Baby
clubbed
seal.
by the baseball bats. The little furry white baby seals.
Never seen that.
Yeah, because they don't do it anymore because they had videos going up there. Yeah. Picture one of the cutest things in the world. Like literally it's this white, it's fur.
Mhm.
And then the most graphic, brutal way of ending it.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. If you watch some of like the people that have gone inside some of the
Oh yeah,
like, places that don't farm
with the
ethically,
hidden cameras. Yes.
and the slaughterhouse.
Oh,
the
yeah.
stuff they do to those animals,
Yeah.
man. And I'm a meat eater.
Yeah.
I love animals. I'm not crazy like
Yeah.
PETA,
Yeah.
but oh,
Look, it's like chickens. There's what they do now is they put them in a room and then they put
gas and-
not nitrogen. Anyway, something where the oxygen's out and they just fall asleep. That's humane. And then there's what I've seen in the videos and you're like, oh, that's just not cool.
It's funny though when you buy your eggs and you pay extra for free range. If you look at the definition for some states of what free
Right,
range is,
right.
it's like 20 feet
Yeah.
of daylight outside the pen.
Yes.
So they just put this chicken wire.
Yeah, it's 100,000 chickens in this humongous warehouse, and they are able
Yeah.
to walk around in a circle. Yeah, yes, it's interesting. Anyway, it is what it is.
I actually knew somebody that during college, part of one of their classes was raising chickens because they were in the ag program, from hatchlings, from chicks to like ready to be taken out to the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
That was interesting. 'Cause I got to go in like the room a ton of times.
The
You had to go
room.
through-
The chicken.
Yeah, where
room.
all of them were at. You had to go through and like
Right.
get the ones that were sick or maybe
Right.
trampled. Like, yeah. So
Adam saw New Kids on the Block at Knott's Berry Farm. I like Knott's Berry Farm. I think it's
oh my god.
you know what? I hated Knott's Berry Farm as a kid. I thought it was boring, and as an adult I like it. New Kids on the
Okay.
Block.
Knott's Berry, first off, they have one of the best jellies ever. Their blackberry jelly is incredible.
Really,
you
the
can never
preserves
find
are
it
good.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Adam, I had a client like towards the end of my time practicing that got a trust fund of, I think it was $250,000. And so like when you met with your clients, it's like, hey, what are your priorities? What do you do? Do you want this money to last? How do you? I want to see New Kids on the Block. And I'm like, okay, we can probably find a way to make that work.
Right.
He's like, and he goes, no, you don't understand. They don't do very many concerts, and like they do a cruise now. And I'm like, a cruise? What are you talking about? He goes, yeah,
it's
you can go on a
popular.
cruise with the band, and they do a couple shows, and like you can have a room next to the band. And I'm like, how much is this? And he's like, $100 and some thousand. And I'm like,
jeez. Yeah.
That's what you want with your money.
You know,
that's all you want is New Kids on the Block. This was like 5 years ago.
Very common for people that have never had money to get a big sum to blow. I've seen it even when I was younger. I remember a guy, his dad passed away, and the good part is he did buy a house. He got left a lot of money, but he bought a lifted 4x4 truck, one of the big monster trucks, and he went out and took a bunch of friends to Vegas, and it was gone in a year. Now, he had the house. He bought it cash. Hopefully he learned his lesson and didn't sell the house and then blow that money or whatever, but piss it away real fast.
So those used to be the biggest fights that we would have with clients that did not get their trust funds outright. Like, like let's say you didn't want your kids to get $1 million all at once.
Right, so you incrementally give it to them, right?
Either incrementally or you have different standards that if they hit, they can have disbursements or whatever, and they could at any time have something for health, education, maintenance, and support. Anyways, houses were the huge fight because somebody would have like $500,000 and they'd be like, "Oh, I want a house for $400,000." Like, we can't do it. What are you talking about? The money's there. We can't do it because they don't own the house. The trust owns the house, and $100,000 is not. Real estate's a good investment, but $100,000 for everything else they may need, and then the ongoing maintenance of the house and the bills. So, like anything you have as a homeowner, the trust is responsible for, not the person, the beneficiary that's living in it. So, like utilities, all that, the house we're paying on a monthly basis. So we would run into massive fights, and then if they like wanted somebody to live with them, the trust property had to be productive. It could only be for their benefit. So like that person would have to pay rent and like trying to explain that whole.
Interesting.
Nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people think it's this big chunk of money and I can do whatever I want with it. No. Nope.
Well, they can if they get it outright.
Yeah.
But
the trust is the way to go for tax purposes.
100%.
That's why, yeah. So
just the step up in basis on your property alone. That's huge.
Vanessa Carlton, Burn Dog says, Vanessa Carlton performed at SeaWorld. She had a hit song in the top 40, but the people, I guess, didn't know who she was and only had about 10 people watching her. Let me guess, Vanessa Carlton, if I could fall into the sky. Yeah, I know that song. I would walk 10,000 miles. Yeah, she was a one-hit wonder.
You know what they used to do with the whale takes back in the day? This was on in Horse. You might remember this because you would have been right in that spot as a kid.
I'm old.
The Wide World of Sports. They would have high diving contests that were held at SeaWorld in San Diego, where they would put this freaking tower up that looks like a cell phone tower.
Yes.
And people would like jump from 200 feet
into the tank. Yep.
Into the tank.
I remember this theme song so well. Saturday morning. And I would watch it because there's nothing else on TV to watch. Thrill of Agony. Or the agony of defeat. That's what it is. Yeah, that they would have the weirdest sports shit on there. The ping pong championships. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck am I watching? I'm watching it because there are no cartoons. This came on, and all the cartoons were over.
And those divers, they'd be all taped up and like breaking ribs, and it was nuts. Like, go on YouTube, you can still find some of the stuff.
So I just saw this one. I think, did we show it here? I don't know. If we did, I'm sorry. You're going to see it again. I think we did. I may have shown this on one of my shows, but check this out. This is on a cruise ship. This was a high dive, and I might have shown it. But
a cruise ship?
Yes, this is a cruise ship. Did they say the Carnival? Royal Caribbean cruise ship. All right, here you go. Look at this height that this person is at. There's the pool way fucking down there. There is no way in hell. Not to mention, if you injure yourself, you're on a cruise ship out in the middle of nowhere. So there it is. It's out sailing. You'll see it. You're 7 seconds behind. She's out. It's out sailing. And oh, hell no.
The problem is not the depth of the pool. The problem is the movement with the waves.
Yeah.
Like in the movement of the ship.
No freaking way.
So she actually jumps?
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see it. There's no freaking way. No freaking way. No freaking... I wouldn't even stand up there just to look over and then climb back down the ladder.
Oh, it's not as high as it looks. I mean, it's high, but okay.
But on a moving cruise ship? No way. Okay, I want to get to this. God, we're out of time. We'll do it tomorrow. I didn't tease it, so I don't feel bad. But we'll do it tomorrow at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, we're out of show. I'll tease it. There's a mysterious doorway they discovered in the Antarctic ice on a satellite image, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. It's like, what? Aliens? Something. And then the other story we didn't get to, check this out. The headline, we'll do it tomorrow. Tapeworm pills for weight loss are being sold on the dark web as doctor recalls one patient's horrifying story. So people are buying tapeworms on the internet, swallowing them, and then they're getting bigger and they lose weight because the tapeworm's absorbing all the calories in your stomach. But there are side effects if you eat a tapeworm and it grows inside of you.
You can have your stomach pumped out of, looks like spaghetti. And they're all
those are different worms. This is one big long tapeworm. How they get rid of this? They make you drink this solution. It kills the tapeworm and then you poop it out. You're talking about the little worms are different. Those are worms.
No, these are tapeworms too.
Are they?
Because they make you lose. Yeah, absolutely.
Tapeworms can get like 30 feet long. It's one worm.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
No,
got it.
You can. Yeah,
okay.
But they can multiply, brother.
Hey, Darren, what do you think about the tapeworms? Good night, thank you. Yeah, Cindy's out. I don't think she's out because of the tapeworm. Yeah, Grody, right? Right, Cindy?
Yeah.
There are enough people able to dive on a cruise ship that they made it a permanent part of the ship.
Yeah, I'm looking. You
Crazy.
can actually see.
No
you
thanks.
gotta prove that you know what you're doing. though.
Right?
That's the-
I wouldn't even do it just jumping out and going feet first into the water. No freaking way. I do not like heights. Now, there is a place when I was in my 20s on the river down by you, the American River, and there's some cliffs, and people will like ride their bikes over them or whatever, and you go into the water. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I climbed up the fucking thing. It's not that high, people. It's probably 25 feet, 30 feet, 25 feet. But when you run out, first you have to look to make sure there's no rafters under you because you end up jumping out and landing on a bunch of people and getting everyone hurt. So you look and then you have to run back and then you jump out. It doesn't look bad until you're out, and that feels like an eternity when you're just hanging in the air going, oh shit, it's higher than I thought. That scared the shit out of me when I was...
The current
yeah.
of the water would scare me.
Yeah. The current's not too bad on that river. There's a couple places, but anyway. All right, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow, Waterhole Wednesday. And then Ryan's only here half a day on Thursday. So he's going to bail out at 5:30. It's the Kings' first game. So you only get him for an hour tomorrow and a half hour on Thursday. So enjoy it. And then he's not going to be here for Halloween. I've just been informed. So, you got a little kid. It makes sense. So I'll be a loner on Halloween. Maybe I'll dress up. So we'll see y'all tomorrow at 5 p.m. The fun starts. Talk about the tapeworm pills you can buy in the Arctic door in the ice or whatever the hell that thing is. Later, everybody.